once we were there, people would like pull out their books and read the poem that was inspired by the surrounding, and suddenly I'm like, I can physically see the waterfall, and when I reread the poem now, it's like I can envision it, and I can also feel this added sense of beauty to it. Like, it's not just a waterfall, it's something that inspired someone to write something about it.
This is Gabriela Clinton. She is studying management with a minor in English at University of St. Thomas in Houston. Her study abroad experience was in Ireland.
Coming to UST, I started off not really knowing a lot of people, wondering where is this going to take me, what am I going to do, what am I going to do afterwards, and just a lot of questions. But I think the thing that made me feel welcome at UST was just the community I found and the friends who have made me feel safe in my decision that this is where I'm supposed to be. And then after that, I've just loved the core classes with Dr. Lockard, Foundations of Liberal Learning, Sister Fasadi in English, and just all those things showing me what it means to be human, and that I need to understand that before I understand what am I going to do with my life. I don't think I really believed it at first. I was like, yeah, study abroad in Ireland for not a lot of money. That doesn't check out, but I guess I'm doing it anyways. And I don't think it really hit me until I was on an 8-hour flight across like the Atlantic Ocean. I was like, wait, I'm actually like leaving America. Like I'm going into Europe. And it was just this unreal fantasy that it took me so long to really understand like just how special this was for me, until I finally stepped foot there and I was like, wow, I'm actually here now. I'm in a very different world. I mean, aside from Guatemala, because I'm from there, I've only been in the US, so it was definitely special going somewhere outside of this hemisphere. I knew to expect lots and lots of green, like just green landscape, green everything, merchandise, and I was not disappointed at all. I also expected a lot of rain. That was just something everyone told me was like, oh, make sure to pack a raincoat, rain boots, umbrella, like everything, extra pair of socks. And I was getting really worried, like, is it gonna be raining the entire time? But when we get there, I have never seen more beautiful weather in my life. Like, it was drizzling maybe 1 out of the 2 weeks we were there. And every other day it was just absolutely gorgeous, like clear blue sunny skies. Again, I saw lots of green, like the landscape was just absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. We would go there and we would spend a week in Sligo's summer school for W.B. Yeats specifically, and there was a lot of professors and experts who had their own lectures and takes on something about Yeats. So even if I hadn't learned a lot about him before, there was no avoiding it there, and we ended up learning so much just about like what kind of a man he was, what kind of writing was he into, what kind of things inspired him. And it was very different from reading about all that stuff in a classroom and then just like being right there and seeing the island of Innisfree. Like, there's a poem on that and I got to see it for myself. It's right there. I really hate saying this, but when I was like in the classroom, or not even in the classroom, but at my house, just like reading the books, it was like in one ear, out the other of, mountains, landscape, but especially with the geographical ones, I was like, it was hard to really see it and therefore appreciate the poem. But then once we were there, people would like pull out their books and read the poem that was inspired by the surrounding, and suddenly I'm like, I can physically see the waterfall, and when I reread the poem now, it's like I can envision it, and I can also feel this added sense of beauty to it. Like, it's not just a waterfall, it's something that inspired someone to write something about it. There were 10 of us in total, so it was a really nice small group, not too big where we can't get to know everyone there, not too small where it's like awkward if you don't like get along, but over time like we got along really great. Dr. Lockard made it very clear from the beginning, like, oh, by the end of this trip, or even starting on this trip, like, we're gonna be there for each other, we're gonna be having meals together, like, we're gonna be, like, getting along. And more than that, like, I think he even used the term, like, oh, we're gonna have family dinners. And I really appreciated that, because I didn't know many people going there. I had, like, 2 friends that I kinda knew, and then over time, I can say safely that I really, really enjoyed being around each and every one of them, because we did have our, like, little family dinners together, and we got to see so many cool things together, climb a mountain together, and it's something that like we came back and we're like, this is something we shared that like we don't share with our usual friends or people outside of this group. So I think we're trying our best to keep that bond even after our return. Outside of classes, there's just so much to sightsee. We were in this nice little town with so much to see, cute little stores, we got to meet people. There was one Irish guy in our Yeats class, and we got to know him pretty well, and he kind of like gave us the ins and outs of what to do when you're staying out late versus what not to do, or how to treat people, or certain things that you should or shouldn't say, or certain things you should take as a compliment versus here I would have been like, whoa. Yeah, they were just very approachable people, and they love telling stories and they love sharing about their lives, at least in the area we were at. And they would also explain like, oh yeah, the accent in this area sounds like this, but if you go down south, it sounds like that versus in the north. And it just came to show like, it's like here, like in the south we have one accent versus in New York, you will not at all sound like you were here. We got to see so many different areas of Ireland. We eventually returned to Dublin, and we did get to spend like a couple nights there. We didn't get to give it the justice it deserved, but at least we got to see, I guess, the important sites that surrounded the area. My absolute favorite place there was Glencar. We got to see like the mountains in the distance, and we got to walk across a few bridges, and then there's like, it's not a huge waterfall, but it was just this nice spring, and it goes down to a river. And the best part was just like all of our friends there, both the ones from UST and some new ones from California that we met on the way, and a couple of Irish friends as well. And all of us just like taking in as much as we can, taking photos of each other and really appreciating that moment. There wasn't as much a culture shock as I expected, honestly. Like, they were all people living their lives. The one thing that really struck me as like very different from what we do here was we would often like finish classes that 1 week in Sligo, and then we would try to look for like a snack or just something fun to do in the afternoon. But like at 6, everything shuts down. Like when it strikes 6, you go home, and you don't have, like, we couldn't even go to an ice cream shop 10 minutes before closing time because they're like, nah, we leave at 6. Versus here, it's like we expect like 24/7 service, and so you have to fill in those shifts, and people are working late. And it was just very different, and honestly, like, I don't blame them. I was very appreciative of like, yeah, okay, I missed out on like an ice cream, big deal, or I couldn't shop past 6 o'clock, but I thought it was really cool that they get to go home to their families and just like enjoy their afternoon. Personally, if the opportunity to go to this Ireland one comes up again, absolutely take it. Like, the price is really, really nice if that's a concern for someone, and even if it's not, it is a beautiful location full of really fun and lively people who just want to get to know you and share their own stories. Like, there really is no loss to it whatsoever, especially because mine was in the summer, so I didn't have to worry about like missing out on classes or trying to fit it into my schedule. It was very, I hate to say convenient, but it just fit so well into my life. Like, I needed that, and it was right there for me. So I'm glad I took it, and I hope if it happens again for someone else, that they jump on it as soon as possible. There's something about going in your college years and building those friendships with your classmates that you might not get any other time. So if it's something that you can do with a little bit of uncomfortableness, like, take the risk and learn to embrace that uncomfortableness, because you will learn so much more out of that than if you stay in your little bubble for the next 2-4 years. The biggest takeaway I got was seeing how fast-paced and stressful life can be over here, and how sometimes I really just need to take a step back and understand that the world is bigger than anything that's going on here in my life. That yes, school and work and people can be stressful, and it seems like everything to me in the moment, but then I just remember this really peaceful spot I found in Ireland, all by myself, no one around, no sounds but nature, and it was just, again, the most beautiful day I'd ever seen. Where I try to remember that and reflect on how life is meant to be this sense of peace. Life is meant to be enjoyable. So I need to, yes, work hard and live in the society I am, which happens to be very fast-paced, but it's important to remember that the goal is finding that happiness and finding that peace, and that I can't wait till the end of my life. I can't wait until I finish the race to get there, that I need to stop and enjoy the little moments right now.